Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is going to be a little random because I actually have a story to tell, and it's been a long time since I properly test drove any cars or bikes. Sometimes I feel that just to stay relevant on YouTube, we have to keep uploading videos constantly, almost like fueling the YouTube machine for views and followers. But along the way, I did learn some editing. Maybe that might not be helpful in the real job life, but it becomes a hobby for me and something that keeps my creative side active. If you've been following my channel, you probably remember that back in 2024, I planned a bike ride to Tarkarli Beach on my TVS Apache RTR 160. It was a used bike which I bought from OLX during the trip. The bike broke down and had an engine seizure down in Chiplu. We were stuck there almost 3 days and ended up costing me nearly 20,000 rupees in repair. After that, things were never the same with that bike. Once the engine work started, it became an endless cycle of repairs. One thing I realized that companies and manufacturers spend a lot of time in marketing their products, but after sales support is completely a different story. My Apache was a BS4 2019 model, and not even that old that you should not get the parts, but most of the service center refused and did not have the proper parts or available to get it repaired. Over time, I lost confidence in the brand. I even tried reaching out to the company, but honestly, unless you're a famous YouTuber, nobody really seems to care. Later on, I bought the Pulsar N250 in 2025 in October. I personally feel it was a much better choice for me because I had Bajaj bikes. Previously, I owned my brother's bike for almost 20 years. I feel that the brand is much easier to maintain compared to TVS. My first long ride with the new bike was to Hyderabad, which took out nearly 15 hours with a short breaks, and because the bike was still new. I should put a video out there of that, time-lapse video. Then came 2026. The original plan was to go to Tarkarli on May 15, but life had other plans. I had really bad fall and injured my shoulder badly. I'm still recovering and recuperating. For almost 2 weeks, I could barely use my right hand. I could not lift it, let alone keep my hands on the handlebar. Finally, May 30 came, and I had this desire that I needed to keep moving. And even though with my right shoulder not fully healed, I decided it's now or never. And I have a few days on my hand. I might as well spend it in driving. So me and my son packed a little bag, started our journey around 3 a.m. The goal was simple: beat the traffic and beat the summer heat. Google Maps said I should reach around 1 p.m. The morning ride was honestly cool, beautiful. I got some pictures around the way. Around 7:30 a.m. I reached Chiplu, the same place we had broken down and the last trip, and I'll hit some photos for you in the Easter eggs. And if you think about the end of the video, you might have noticed some small Easter eggs hidden throughout the ride. This actually was my second ride along with my son. The first one was with Hyderabad trip back in 2024. I know there are huge craze around the bike rides, touring culture in these days, but personally, I do not completely vibe with it. Yes, the roads have improved compared to before, but I still don't think the infrastructure is where it should be. People spend lakhs on riding gear just to protect themselves, but nobody wants to address the real problem. The road themselves, the institutions need to be more accountable. One thing I realize is that in India, sometimes it feels like a human life doesn't really matter. Our roads are still far from international standards. And while everybody says they love the country, you still see garbage thrown everywhere. People throw trash on the road as if expecting it is someone else's job to clean it. Many people told me Goa roads are amazing. To some extent, they are right, and it is good. But there are still bad patches, and it tests your patience. Somehow there is construction happening all year round. Poor waste management, broken roads, diversions. Even in this video, you will notice there are rough sections and completely spoils the riding experience. Anyway, this is just my opinion. Some people may disagree with it. One thing about this trip is I did not plan much at all. We just packed a small bag, started riding. I thought once we reached Tarkarli, we would have easily find a place to stay. Big mistake. What I learned from the ride is that booking accommodation in advance actually saves money and stress. Once we reached Tarkarli, the hotel price was surprisingly expensive. And I always believed offline booking would be cheaper, but in this case, online booking was definitely the better option. For the second part from the trip from Tarkarli to Kalangut, I booked it online and got 2 nights for 1,800 rupees. Meanwhile, one night in Tarkarli itself costed me almost the same amount. Along the ride, long rides like this also teach us something interesting about the minds. When you're riding, there is a little or very little overthinking happening because your focus is on the road. The moment your attention diverts or drifts, mistakes happen. And honestly, life is similar. Many times we lose focus on what really matters and gets distracted by everything around us. While riding, one verse that kept coming into mind is trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean on your understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He will shall direct your path. And most of the time we go to God only when things go wrong. We ask Him for help in difficult situation, for a job, relationship, finances, or some miracle intervention. But when life is going well, do we seek Him the same way? The question I kept asking myself during the ride is, do I only run to Christ during hard times, or do I seek Him even when life is good? As we go through life, we slowly learn that relying completely on people can disappoint us. Before this trip, someone connected with me about a contact in Tarkarli for accommodation. I relaxed thinking everything is sorted because it came through a reference. But when I finally reached there, exhausted from the heat and the long ride, there was no proper arrangement. That's when panic started. Out of desperation, I ended up booking an expensive place at that last moment. Sometimes people let us down. Sometimes they ignore us, reject us, or simply disappear. That's life. As humans, we'll go through these experiences no matter where we are. So throughout this video, these are just random thoughts that came into mind during the journey, and I thought I would share it with you guys. Anyways, enjoy the ride, is what they say. Few more thoughts came to my mind recently, and this is one that I've been thinking about it the most. It is related to the appointments we take. Some appointments are extremely punctual and time sensitive. For example, if you've been to a VFS interview or a job interview, the slots that are provided matter. If you miss it, there are repercussions. You may have to rebook, and there must be a cost involved. But there are other appointments that almost make you wonder what the point of the appointment system even is. Take vehicle servicing, for example. You book a servicing appointment for your bike or car, but the timing constantly shifts. Sometimes walk ins are entertained more than the scheduled customers. You keep waiting and wondering why appointments are given if nobody follows them properly. Recently, there was an internet outage at home. If you use Jio as your service provider, you probably already know how difficult customer service can sometimes be. I had booked an appointment with a service engineer for 10 a.m. I waited the entire day, but no engineer showed up. The appointment details themselves did not properly reflect the status, and trying to identify engineer was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. What made me even think more was, if one engineer is unavailable, shouldn't the system automatically assign the issue to another engineer so that the customer's problem gets resolved? Many customers' frustration happens because there is no accountability or urgency in fixing the issue. And honestly, I believe many internet problems happen because fiber optics themselves are not secured properly. But that's another topic. Still, all of this made me think something deeper regarding our faith. Just because we go to church and claim to live a holy life, are we truly living what we claim to be? Are we allowing God to reveal the areas in our lives that need repair? Are we asking Lord daily to correct us and shape us? Or are we slowly becoming only a Sunday churchgoer? People who attend services but avoid true self examination. Like Psalms 139:23 says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thought. See if there is anything offensive in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." Sometimes we expect God to fix external situation while ignoring the internal repairs. He wants to do this within us. Many times we compare ourselves with others. Their positions in life, their growth, their success, how quickly things change for them. Comparison quietly steals joy. We may not compare ourselves daily, but there are moments when discouragement enters our hearts because we feel stuck while others seems to move ahead faster. But the Bible reminds us in Proverbs 3, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your understanding. In all your ways submit to him. He will make your path straight." Working hard alone is not enough. We also need to trust in the Lord. While we continue working faithfully, we must also learn contentment, remembering what the Lord has provided instead of only focusing what we lack. Hebrews 13:5 reminded me, "Keeping your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God says, 'Never will I leave you, nor will I forsake you.'" May the real question is not whether we have appointment with God every Sunday. May the real question is, when God examines our heart, are we available for the work He wants to do within us? So, addressing the elephant in the room, the shoulder accident. On May 19, I had a strong desire to go on a bike ride to Tarkarli. That whole week, I was planning for a ride. But on that particular morning, while I was out on an usual walk, something unexpected happened. As I was walking past a shop, there was these tiles which were laid down, and it's been there for long ages. And the problem with those tiles are those slippery tiles. When water comes in contact with them, they become extremely slippery. While I was wearing Crocs, and yeah, I know some of you already might be thinking, why are you wearing walk for a morning walk? But honestly, I find them really comfortable. I was actually walking carefully. I was watching the road, being cautious, doing everything normally. But there was a small patch of water on that tile surface, and suddenly I slipped and crashed on the ground. The moment I fell, I immediately heard a sound on my shoulder, and the pain was unbearable. A few uncles nearby rushed over, but instead of helping me immediately, some started giving me advice. You should walk better, you should not be wearing Crocs, you should be look carefully while walking. Another group started trying to figure out who is responsible for the water spill. Is it from the top? Is it from some neighbor shops? Only one uncle actually tried to help me get up. But the problem was I couldn't move. My right hand had completely stopped responding. People around me kept saying, "Move your hand, lift it, it will get frozen." But my arm just wasn't moving. I could move my fingers slightly, but lifting the arm was impossible. People were constantly telling me to do things, but my brain was sending the signals to my arms, but it was not moving at all. I just sat there quietly for almost 15 minutes trying to process what happened. The pain was excruciating, but I stayed calm and tried to assess the damage. Finally, somehow, by the grace of God, I gathered enough strength to slowly get up. I was alone, Struggling to walk properly, holding my arm in pain, somehow I managed to reach nearby chemist to get medicines. Since then, recovery hasn't been easy. Even while making this video, I still have shoulder pains. I still cannot fully lift my hands. Right now, I can lift it till my handlebar, and that's why I was able to go on this bike ride. Still, it's been weeks. Rehabilitation is still going on. During this period, I started thinking deeply about something. Many times we hear preachers talk about focusing on the end goal. And yes, having goals matter. But I would like to add my 2 cents to it. The morning while I was walking, my goal was simple: go for a small stroll and reach home safely. I was looking ahead. I was being cautious about the traffic. I was focused on the destination. But I forgot to notice what was directly in front of me. And that is what caused the fall. Many times in life, we focus so much on the final goal: success, ministry, career, future, wife, that we stop paying attention to the small dangers right in front of us. And sometimes it is not that big things that destroy us. It is the small compromises, small distractions, small careless moments. Even many Christians who started their ministry well eventually fell somewhere along the journey. They had a vision, they had a calling, but somewhere along the line they stopped being careful about what was right in front of them. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verses 12 says, "So if you think you are standing firm, be careful that you don't fall." And Proverbs 4:25 says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before me. Give careful thought to the path to your feet." So I believe as Christians, while we keep our eyes on the goal, while we also need wisdom and awareness for the present moment. We live in a world, but the world should not live inside us. But John 17 says, "They are not of the world, even as I am not of it." I believe that we should be practical in our walk with God. Sometimes we listen to sermons but fail to connect them to real life situations happening around us every day. But trust me, I know I'm not a perfect person, but Christ did not die for perfect people. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomso shall ever believe in him shall not perish but have eternal life." I believe that 100%. And yes, during the journey we fall sometimes, just like I physically felt that day. We get angry, we get frustrated, we question things. Those emotions are real. But one verse that always reminds me of hope is Romans 8:38 and 39. "For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither present nor future, or anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God." Nothing can separate us from Him. Who would willingly die for us the way of Christ did? That is why no matter how broken life gets, we can still run back to Him. And yes, sometimes when we pray, we may not get the answers immediately, but asking God different from asking people. God teaches us through waiting, through silence, and through the process itself. This is simply what I have learned in my walk. Some people who know me may call me a hypocrite, but honestly, aren't we all struggling somewhere? The important thing is that not to pretend to be perfect. The important thing is being willing to admit when we fall, learning from it, getting back up, and trying to walk rightly again. Because after all, we all have one life. One day we all have to go. But the word of the God remains forever. What Isaiah 48 says, Isaiah 40 verses 8, "The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God endures forever." So friends, thank you for staying through this ridiculously long video. I honestly do not know if you made it till the end, but if you did, I would genuinely love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section. These were simple thoughts which came in my mind while I was on this 10-hour bike ride. The recovery journey, and I thought something out there, it related to me. without no debates, no judgment, just practical thoughts from my life and my faith. I would like to hear from you. And during this process of while I was driving 10 hours, almost 1200 kilometers, and around 3,800 rupees of fuel, these simple thoughts stuck with me throughout the journey. And these thoughts were not just simple thoughts, but thoughts which deepen and has great roots. So, friends, once again, without any doubt or judgment or any other queries, just want to put my thoughts out there. If you like and relate to these things, do subscribe and let me know your thoughts. Before the video continues, there are some shots which have time lapses. So let me know if you enjoyed them. I tried experimenting a little with the visuals during the ride, so would genuinely love to hear from you and your thoughts on them. We are here to learn and encourage people. And may the good Lord bless you in the coming days also. Now, if you like my video, consider sharing and subscribing to my channel. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit the bell icon for future notifications.